When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
Hey people, this is part 3 of my Captain America video series. In this video I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on keeping the movie grounded. We're going to sort of pick off where I left off in my last video. The last cast member that I talked about in that video was Toby Jones, who will be playing Arnim Zola. I didn't really go into that much detail about the character because I felt that my thoughts on that lent themselves better to the focus of this video. One of the things that Arnim Zola is best known for is his strange appearance. He created this device which would allow someone's mental essence to be projected into a cloned brain, and he used this device on himself to transfer his mind into an artificial body. This is what that body looks like. To be fair, I'll show you a couple of the more recent, slightly cooler designs. You've got this, and you've got this, but as you can see, he kind of looks like a predecessor of Krang from the Ninja Turtles cartoon and the Teletubbies. There's debate among fans whether or not to use this design for the movie. I'm really against this for several reasons. First and foremost, I just think it looks goofy. Having a robot with a monitor on its stomach displaying a face instantly makes the movie campier. I think when they make this movie, they need to keep in mind the tone of semi-realism established by the first few movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not like gritty realism, but you have to keep it semi-grounded in reality. And I think having this robot is just kind of goofy and what really is unnecessary. Robot Zola, to me, just seems suited for something like Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, which is far more intentionally strange in terms of its style and its story. With Captain America, they really need to stay focused on what's important and keep it grounded. Some fans are claiming that if you make Zola into a normal scientist, you're taking away everything that's interesting about the character. To those fans, I have to ask, what would be the function of putting him in the artificial body in this movie? Is there anything that he could really do in that body that he couldn't do without it? If he is such an interesting character, he should be an interesting character because of his motivations and the type of person he is. And that's not affected by whether he's in an artificial body or not. I think the best way to use Zola in this movie would be to have him as one of the scientists working for the Nazis trying to come up with their own version of the super soldier serum. He helps them to create it based on information that they steal from Erskine, and he creates an imperfect serum which Johann Schmidt tests on himself, turning him into the Red Skull. Then Zola has a smaller role for the rest of the film, kind of working for the Red Skull. Throughout the film they can kind of hint at this little plot with him using his brain, developing the brain imprinting device, and maybe at the end kind of suggests that he puts his mind into an artificial body to escape being captured. This way they can bring him back in later Captain America movies as something closer to the traditional Arnim Zola. The other major concern I have in regards to keeping the movie grounded is the talk of including the Invaders for a large portion of the movie. In the comics, the Invaders are this superhero team that Captain America and Bucky are part of during World War II. Some of the members include Namor the Submariner, the original android Human Torch, Whizzer, who's this guy with super speed who got his powers by an injection of mongoose blood, and Union Jack. Joe Johnston has stated before that they were going to be in the entire second half of the movie. This was a long time ago, so it might have changed, but I think this could either work well or be a really big mistake. This is Captain America's only solo movie before the Avengers. One of the goals should be to sell Steve Rogers as a character to audiences who aren't that familiar with his story. He shouldn't have to fight for attention like this is an ensemble film. While only cast as an ensemble, this is a solo superhero movie, which means the main character is the strong focus of attention. There shouldn't be a bunch of superheroes in the movie running around taking spotlight away from the main attraction. From a character development standpoint, you have to take the time to develop all these characters if you introduce them. This would take away time that should be spent developing Steve as a character. Imagine if you had Namor in the movie. This guy's from Atlantis. He would especially take considerable time to tell his story, his backstory, and do the character justice. From a visual standpoint, Captain America should be the most interesting person on screen. If you've got him in his red, white, and blue costume among a bunch of more plainly dressed soldiers, then he stands out. If you have him with a guy who's on fire, a stretchy guy, and a guy with super speed, all of a sudden the super soldier doesn't seem so super. It'll be cool in the Avengers because you want to see all these characters together. They've had the time in their own movies where they've had the interest built and they've developed the characters on their own. But in an introductory solo movie, the main character really needs to have the spotlight mostly to himself. I think the best way to do the Invaders in this movie would be to turn it into sort of an elite combat unit type team, sort of like the Losers or the A-Team. The roster doesn't really need to be that big, because you've already got Captain America, Bucky Barnes, and Peggy Carter, so add 2 to 3 more people tops. There's also been mention of including Nick Fury's team, the Howling Commandos, in the movie. The most sensible thing to do would be to combine the Invaders and the Howling Commandos into one team. Of the Invaders, I think that Union Jack seems the most realistic and would fit in the best for what the movie should be. Dum Dum Dugan of the Howling Commandos is already confirmed to be in the movie, so he should definitely be on the team. In regards to Dum Dum Dugan, in Marvel Comics, he's in World War II and then he's in the modern world. I think that he should just be in World War II. I know that he plays a role later on, but just to have so many characters coming from World War II into the modern world would be a little bit excessive. You're already looking at the possibility of Bucky, Arnim, Zola, and the Red Skull joining Cap in the modern day. So if you add Dum Dum to the list of people who make it from that time period, it just really feels like you're going overboard with it. That's it for this video. In my next and final video of this series, I'm going to be talking about what I think it's going to take to make this movie great. So thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe and tune in next time.